Hello, it's Tracy Dixon from Tracy Dixon's Mind and Body Health, Fitness and Wellbeing. So, I was just wondering, do you feel really good and do well in some areas of your life, and then in other areas of your life you just don't seem to quite get the results that you want, and you could go round and round in circles and feel frustrated and, possibly haven't really thought about it in much more depth than that, other than that's frustrating, or at that particular time you remember doing well, maybe haven't broken down the ingredients or the processes or the things that were going on to really help you to do well or not do well based on your own frame of references. So we go through so many different mental processes on a day-to-day basis, and the majority of them happen completely out of our awareness. But you can raise your internal awareness and train your mental muscle, just as we train our biceps and, just as we do when we're working out in class. And I like to call this your mindset, and your mindset determines so much of what you are, what you do, or what you have, or what you become, or what you're not. So I've put together my secret steps to harnessing a really positive, successful mindset in 3 steps that really work for you if you're able to take time to practice them on a daily basis so that they become more automatic. And mental habits are at the heart of a positive, successful mindset. So to develop your habits on a daily basis and becoming aware of them, you can really start to transform your outlook and your thinking and your feeling. And as a result, as a consequence, what you do on a day-to-day basis, how you do it, how you feel about things, starts to change as well. And you can start to foster and get the results that you really want in your life, to be the way that you want to be, to feel the way that you want to be, and to have things go more of your way based on these steps. So, the first one is hearing. So, your internal dialogue, everybody, including myself, I could find myself driving along in my car and I'm partially concentrating, and then the other part of me, I've got little voices going on in my head and constantly chatting about something. I might be running over something I haven't even done yet, or just generally talking to myself, and I'm sure I'm not alone. But did you know that your inner dialogue is really, really powerful, and it can affect your physical demeanour and the way that you actually physically are and physically perform? So if you think about that, if you've got nagging voices of doubt in your mind all the time, or critical voices, then that's going to be physically manifested in your body and in your demeanour. So if you do have voices that are not serving you well, or you've got inner dialogue that isn't particularly helpful, then replacing those that little voice with something that's far more useful to you, voices of certainty, voices of strength, voices that are going to give you a really strong, positive, physical feeling, is really worthwhile doing. So becoming more aware of your inner dialogue, and when you catch yourself saying something to yourself internally that isn't particularly nice, that could be quite critical, then you can only hold one thought in your mind at once. So as soon as you start thinking something that's more positive and more kind towards yourself, and flipping the dialogue like, I can do this, things are okay, today is going to be a good day, I am capable of doing this, I am strong enough, I am well enough, then guess what? After a few sentences like that, you really can start to build yourself up physically and start to feel more empowered. Okay, so my second step is seeing. This is visualization. So a lot of us will visualize things, and you may do it without even realizing that you're doing it. So alongside the inner dialogue, there might be a visual picture there may not be, but if you start thinking about, and this can work really well in so many settings, in work settings, in life settings, interviews, events, races, sports events, running races, personal conversations, even things around, body confidence or body image or the way that you're wanting to be. If you start to imagine yourself that way and visualize it, you really start to put energy into that particular form, rather than visualizing and matching this with the dialogue as well of, well, I don't want to be X, Y, and Z. I don't want to be overweight, or I don't want to be fat, or I don't want to be unfit. All right, well, that's fine. But I like to think, well, what do you want instead? What is it that you want to replace that with? And imagine yourself that way. And it is more challenging to prepare yourself for the outcome that you want by repeatedly visualizing it or rehearsing it in your mind as something that's more absolute. But it's really, really worthwhile, and it's a really vital part of having a successful mindset. So thinking about things going well and having the inner dialogue to match that as well. So if you're working towards a particular personal physical transformation, thinking about all of the things in detail specifically that you would like to be, you would like to become, you would like to feel, and really energizing that vision. Okay, so the third thing as well is the feeling side of things. So alongside the inner dialogue and alongside the visualization is feeling. So building up a real sense of internal excitement or expectation alongside a sense of certainty and a sense of calm, and like an unshakable knowledge that you will do something in the future, and feeling as if that's true for you now. And this is a skill that the more you do it and the more you practice it, the better you become at it, or something that's going to become true for you very, very shortly. And these are what I like to call your emotional states. And we are in so many different emotional states, and they flux and they wax and they wane. But you can, to a certain degree, have the emotional states really work for you. And once you start to understand them, you can start to change your emotional state. And this can be useful in so many different contexts. It can be useful for controlling nerves. It can be useful for confidence, again, work, life, personal. And, all the time, when you're exercising or when you're working out, maybe it's by yourself or whether you're in a class, just, feeling the way that you want to feel, and that sense of knowing that, that unshakable knowledge that something might happen, definitely will happen, and it's real. And the fact that, you have a body or you have your eyes, it is called belief. So what I'm saying really is to believe in yourself, have the belief. And belief, in a sense, is so much more than just an intellectual exercise. For me, it's an unfearing power in a direction which you set yourself, and it keeps you directed at the goal, and it keeps you homing in on what you want, and repeatedly focusing on, on the feelings of, this is good, I feel okay, and on what you want is a really great way of moving yourself towards having a more positive mindset. And it's a really good mental habit to get into, the way of. And one of the ways that I hear this on a daily basis is when people are working towards maybe a certain weight loss goal, or a physical goal, and emotionally something maybe hasn't gone too well for them, so they're in an emotional state that's not very conducive to, being positive. So what they could potentially do is go and have a drink, or go and eat some sugary carbs, or go and have a cake, or have something that's not that great for you, and then instantly regret it, instantly feel guilty, and think, well, that's it now. I might as well just go and eat another biscuit because I've already just had one. What am I doing to myself? I'm absolutely useless. What a waste of time. And there you go, the inner dialogue starts. Then that starts to create and reinforce pictures and images of the fact that you are the way that you are. And then that creates even more internal feelings. So, there you can see it following down a negative path where you can really flip it to become positive for yourself. All right, so let's say you have slipped off the bandwagon and you've just had something that is not that great for you, and it's going against the goals that you're aiming for. Move on. Just step aside, think, okay, I've done that now, there's no point going over it. Draw a line under the sand and move forwards, and start to think about what you want. Start to really visualize yourself being the way that you want to be, and again, just getting back into that zone of feeling positive and more empowered, because you are at cause. Everything that you are, that you have in life, is a result of a feeling or a thought or an action that you have taken. So I hope this is really useful for you. I hope that you can start building these really good mental habits into your daily basis. And of course, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think about this. I find this area fascinating, and I've been in the area of, behaviour and psychology alongside, exercise and fitness now for over 20 years. It's a really great passion of mine, obviously an area where I have a lot of experience, and it's where my full-time job was before I started teaching full-time. So yeah, talk to me about it. I'm interested. Let me know what your goals are, and how you think that having a successful, positive mindset can help you to achieve what you want to. All right, have a great day. Take care. Bye.